time, let's talk right now about, I mean, this is wonderful. This is actually proof that customer power does actually make a difference. Harley-Davidson has decided to drop a slew of diversity targets following criticism that the motorcycle brand had gone woke. The company announced it was ditching this ridiculous scoring system that some companies sign up to that rates how inclusive businesses are for LGBT people following an internal stakeholder review. And I hate anything that involves a stakeholder review, but basically it's put all sponsorship deals under review and basically said its primary focus will be, this is mad, right? Keeping its loyal riding community. What they mean by that is selling motorcycles to people who want to buy motorcycles. And it's got nothing to do with diversity targets. Funny that. Let's talk about this with Amy Gallagher. She's a commentator at the New Culture Forum. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Gina. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is another victory for sanity, for people power. People actually saying, we don't want this. This all came about by a guy called Robbie Starbuck. He's an activist, and he started criticising Harley-Davidson's diversity push back in June, and he won loads of support on social media, basically embarrassed the company into, and made people aware of it, into just going back to basics, selling their products to the people who want to buy them. We need more of this.
Well, it's amazing, really, that this had to happen, because if you think of any kind of brand, woke often goes against most brands, and it essentially turns on the customer and treats them like they're idiots and they need to be told how to behave. But of all brands, to think that Harley-Davidson, which is so quintessentially American, when you think of a Harley-Davidson motorbike, you don't just think of the motorbike, you think of a big burly man, probably bearded, and let's be honest, probably white and heterosexual, sitting on top of the motorbike. Yeah. And actually DEI and woke hates that kind of person. It doesn't like men, it doesn't like heterosexuals, it doesn't like patriotism, and it doesn't like Americanism. So the idea that they would allow this in the first place is quite extraordinary. And we've seen it before with other brands like Gillette and like Bud Light, again, two brands whose customer base is probably going to be men, probably quite white American men, and actually pushing something onto them which totally goes against their own identity.
Yeah. But also, no, I don't even think it needs to be white. I think that there's been loads of evidence. You can see the vote for Donald Trump in America from from black people and from Hispanic people that actually they don't like this either, because actually those I hate the use phrase communities, but those people actually traditionally have been more on the conservative or the small C side. But this is the thing. This is a liberal, it's a white women's and LGBT fanatic obsession that no one else is interested in. I don't want to know that someone can't work at Harley-Davidson or can't be a supplier for Harley-Davidson because of the colour of their skin or their sexuality or because they're a woman. No, that would be wrong. And I believe against the law, but otherwise it's totally irrelevant. I don't need there to be a quota of people in the showroom or in the supply chain who happen to be from black families or a women-owned business or anything like that. I mean, this is all nonsense. Most people don't want this. They simply want a fair meritocracy.
Yes, and that's exactly what Harley-Davidson are going to do. They're going to return to hiring people on merit, and they're going to go to suppliers based on who are the best suppliers. They're not going to have quotas around this certain amount of females or certain ethnic minorities. And of course, when you hire for merit, that may well include lots of females and ethnic minorities. Yeah. Of course it would. You would expect it to, because when you have true equality of opportunity, that means, well, it means everybody can have an opportunity. Yeah. So,
but isn't this the key thing? We need to expose a lot of this. I mean, it's like the outcry over Bud Light. That completely trashed their sales. They are never going to return. We've had, the outcry over Harley-Davidson, Gillette. I mean, those adverts Gillette had basically telling men, you're horrible, you're all violent, nasty people. Funnily enough, men didn't want to buy their razors anymore, and the women who were married to them didn't want to buy them for them because they didn't like it. Now the adverts are all about men being great. Yeah, funny that. We need to do more of this, don't we? We need to have more customer power and just say we will not part with this anymore. It doesn't interest us. It's against our values, and we don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that the customer now has to take the initiative to tell the company what to do. It wasn't that long ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, where advertising was seen as a real art form, and so much thought and money was put into thinking about what the customer wanted. I think nobody could have ever predicted that we would see the complete reversal of that. It's quite extraordinary. But yeah, I mean, even with Bud Light, there was a recent report came out that it's now the third company for beer sales, and it was only a year ago it was number one. Yeah. In the space of a year, it's lost 1.4 billion pounds.
Go woke, go broke. It's that simple. I mean, I hate the fact I go to my local supermarket, which happens to be a Waitrose, and there's just rainbows everywhere. I mean, I don't need to be told not to be transphobic. I'm not transphobic. I don't need to be told not to be anti-gay. I'm not anti-gay. I don't need to be told that. And I don't think any customer does need to be told that. And I think if you were those things, I'm not sure the rainbow lanyard would make a difference, personally. Amy Gallagher, great to talk to you. Always sensible on this stuff. Commentator at the New Culture Forum. Hopefully, we look forward to speaking to you again very soon.